James Hardiman joining us on the phone, Director of Equity Research and Leisure at Wedbush Securities, covering Peloton. We might talk a little Planet Fitness as well here. So, James, the big move here for Peloton is gathering some steam. What's the simplest explanation you have?
Yeah, I mean, I think the bear case really revolves around how expensive the product is and how expensive the stock is. And I think that sort of undersells both opportunities. Fundamentally, we were somewhat skeptical coming into this, but what blew me away was how many non-Peloton owners, when we did a pretty broad-based consumer survey, had high opinions of the product, which I think speaks to the growth potential. And then B, the idea that once you become an owner, you tend to enjoy it, and you tend to be an owner for a very long time. Customer satisfaction rates are through the roof. Plans to continue to be a member are through the roof. And really, efficacy is through the roof. 2/3 of people able to lose weight. Nearly half of the people that we talked to said it actually made them happier. That's a big deal for exercise equipment that historically doesn't work, right? The industry is littered with products that don't work and ultimately prove to be fads. We don't think this is one of them.
Fair point. Now, here's the survey. We've got it up on the screen here, and you're looking at the level of interest in purchasing a Peloton exercise bike. The numbers look a little bit low for those that are anything more than somewhat interested. And then on the treadmill, it's like even lower. So what's the catch here? It's just that they need to be convinced by Peloton?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, the numbers we look at, I'm not sure what you have on the screen, but about 3/4 of people that are aware of the product, and these are people that A, can afford it, so they're making households with $50,000 in annual income or more, and B, are aware of the product and what they offer. About 3/4 of those people find it an attractive product. And so as we sort of do our market math, you start with 130 million households. Half of those people can afford it. You continue to whittle that down. We get to about 15 million U.S. households that it potentially makes sense for, right?
Wow.
People that can afford it, people that are aware of it and have some level of interest. And on that number, we think that they can get to 3 million concurrent subscribers versus 500,000 today. So obviously that's a pretty long runway for growth.
And we've got this diagram up, which I think is a great, really good way to look at this, because this is the big question for a lot of these, right? Is what's their market right now? There's all these IPOs. Yep. There's the Beyond Meat, and people are saying, okay, well, this is a fad. People aren't going to be that committed to vegan diets, all that stuff. But at least for this industry, it's been around for a long time. Exercise, products. We know right now they're at 627,000 market penetration. And your point here is that you've looked at this and narrowed it down so that the 15 million, that's already a subset of those who can't afford it. So even by your metrics here, that kind of takes out the issue of price, right? Because you're saying, look, this is only a group we're looking at that can afford the thing.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
How do we know who can afford it, though? 50K, is that enough to, a single purchase? Is it just that it's one-time buy?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's if I've gotten pushback today, that's it. It's 50K really enough. I think our survey results would suggest that there are quite a few people in that 50 to 75K range, and some even under that have stepped up and made that purchase. I think generally, even though people look at a $2,200 price tag for the exercise bike, I think what most people are thinking about is, with their financing plan, it's $60 for the bike and call it $40 for the subscription. So if you can commit to 3 years, it's $100 a month for those 3 years, and then it comes down to $40 thereafter. And I think given the fact that an awful lot of people are comparing that to a gym membership, that's actually fairly affordable, certainly if we're thinking about it from a household perspective.
This is a crucial point. These are really good numbers. So we've had this conversation with folks before, and this is probably the most quantitative look we've had at it. So I want to keep digging on this. The relative cost compared to the gym memberships, because again, there's different tiers of gyms, right? I know you covered Planet Fitness. They've been killing it because their gym membership is so cheap that people don't even go and they still pay for it.
That's right. Yeah, so it's a lot more expensive than Planet Fitness. It's a great point, and I don't think anybody would disagree with the notion that Planet Fitness has a dramatically larger addressable market, just given how cheap their memberships are. $10 is the standard, and then probably half of people end up paying for the Black Card, which is $20. This is substantially more than that. But if you, a lot of the more upscale gyms, right? If my family used to belong to Lifetime Fitness, and it was probably in that $100 range for the family. And I think it's even more than that now. Peloton is pretty comparable to that, but I would even take it a step further and say they're peeling away consumers, particularly from that boutique exercise segment. And these are people that are oftentimes paying, $30 per spin class, right? So it doesn't take a whole lot of classes over the course of a month to get beyond that $100 subscription price.
Now, again, I moved here from New York, and everybody was obsessed with Equinox there, so there's definitely a high end. But for those memberships, are people in the high end going to cancel them? Because I'm assuming that they've probably got some pretty good bikes, at the Equinox. They've actually got one in my apartment building that's like a group bike. I don't really know how it works, but will there be enough draw to take the people from the higher end out of their gym memberships?
Yeah, I think the people where money is truly no obstacle, which is a meaningful segment for a company like Peloton, are probably just going to do both.
Okay.
But I do think, big picture, the way I think about this industry is that there's going to be three major segments, right? I think there's going to be among traditional gyms. I think a lot of those guys are in trouble, largely based on what Planet Fitness offers for a significantly cheaper price. And I think Planet Fitness is going to be the big winner in terms of traditional gym chains. I think there's going to be a segment of sort of boutique specialty fitness that'll always, have its customers, but ultimately that those customers are likely going to be rotating. That right now, Orange Theory Fitness is sort of the dominant boutique-y type of a chain. I would be more concerned that those people will eventually rotate out. And then I think there's
like the Barry's Boot Camp and stuff. Those people might go, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to get a bike.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be this at-home fitness segment. Ultimately, I think there's a large group of people that want to be able to work out when they want and how they want and where they want. And I think, having products at home really scratches that itch. And so that's going to be, I think, a long runway of people moving from a club experience to an at-home experience.
Yeah, that's a really interesting take that I haven't heard before, that maybe what's more of a fad or some of the elaborate exercise sort of routines. One more, James, the other component of them, of course, is the subscription elements. The chart that's at the top of your guys' report is about that subscriber build that's basically looking at not only just the purchase, but who's subscribing, what their churn rate is, and the churn rate here I saw elsewhere in your report is pretty darn low compared to other places.
Yeah.
So when you get the bike, you're paying for it.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, maybe people should be thinking about this as a sunk cost, but they don't, right? So if you spend $2,000, $2,200 on a bike, you are going to be highly motivated to use that bike. And I think that works in everybody's favor, right? That makes it more likely that you're going to get the fitness results that you're looking for because you bought in. And the fitness results, I think, were pretty amazing based on the survey results that we had. But, yeah, to your point, right now the monthly churn, right, so the people that drop out every month are less than 1%. On an annualized basis, that gets us to about 11. That is less than half of what you see at a Planet Fitness or, boutique studios on average. That's really good. Now, it's going to go up, right?
Sure.
We're modeling that to essentially double over the next handful of years. But even what you end up with, 22% on an annual basis, is still a pretty good number. And it's one that I think underpins what I think is going to be a compelling, profitable, sizable subscription business. And that's really what investors are paying for here.
Okay. that recurring flow. James Hardiman, really thorough, really great report, super helpful for us trying to figure out these new IPOs. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. James is Director of Equity Research at Wedbush Securities, covering leisure. I don't know how much leisure it is, though, on that bike. It's a lot of work, a lot of sweat.